Okay, so I cannot remember if I had already made a video after we moved or not. That's basically where my brain is. But we did it. We moved. We left. I believe it was on the 10th of June and landed here in Florida. Almost said South Africa. Landed here in Florida on June the 12th. That was after me flying back from South Africa on the 5th, landing on the 6th, and starting to move toward the truck, moving everything. And we purged again, moving not easy from the very beginning of this whole thing back in November of last year, where I believe we started the process of buying the property that our house is built on. We're in an area of Florida called Indiantown, which is a small village of about 7,000 people. I know it's grown since the last census. I believe they say that they're growing at 4% a year. We're growing at 4% a year. I think over the next couple of years, that number is going to jump pretty quickly because of this development that I live in now. We're among some of the first homes that are built here, probably within the first 100 homes that have been built. And they're looking at a couple of thousand homes by the time they're done. And yeah, so it's going to be a little bit different. We are probably 30 minutes from everything. There is a public supermarket that's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes from here. But we are about 30 miles east of Lake Okeechobee, if you know your Florida geography, which is a large lake in the southern part of Florida, just above the Everglades. And we're about 30 miles from the coast. So we're right in the middle of both those places, and everything that has any kind of importance for us is down on the coast, or over on the coast, not really down, from uh, Port St. Lucie down to, I guess, West Palm Beach, or maybe a little bit further south than that. It's kind of like the Jersey Shore, where towns just run into each other. You don't know when you're leaving one, getting into another, other than signs maybe posted there. But everything that's east of the Florida Turnpike and I 95 is where all the happenings are. We are out in the boonies. We are in a subtropical rainforest area where we get some horrendous rain, wind, and perhaps protected from from hurricanes a little bit more than the coastal parts of Florida. But from what I understand, we can get tornadoes, and yeah, we get these uh, cells of windstorms every once in a while. Anyway, we moved and we downsized. We got rid of a lot of stuff, and we packed our 26-foot truck to the hilt, and probably could have left some other things off that truck because we're purging still while we're here, and we've changed a bunch of things. We made a lot of decisions under a lot of stress. We had some of the things that went on right after we got here. The transmission on our 2018 Honda went, and we had to replace some parts there. The torque converter, I believe it was. And then, of all things, we had her battery go dead, which was the original battery. 8 years that battery lasted us. So we had sewer backup because of builders letting sand and dirt just get down into the pipes, and also had our water shut off because of a technicality. But we got all that up and going. Getting our mortgage for this house was a process that I ended up um, terminating in the middle of May, when just, I don't have the time to go into it, but I think that there were some people who were either inept or just purposely didn't want us to get the mortgage, because we did get our mortgage to buy this house in 2 weeks. They processed our mortgage. The company processed our mortgage, and we were forever grateful for having found them and had them step up and say, "Yeah, we could do that." And also in the process, we had to sell our home in New Jersey, and everybody was saying, "Oh, that house is going to sell like in a week." Well, we put it on the market the end of December, and basically crickets for most of January, February, and March. April started to see a little bit more action, and it wasn't until we closed on this house, which, if my memory serves me right, I wouldn't always depend on it, was May the 19th. We closed on this house, having gotten that mortgage, that we started to get serious buyers. Two different couples showed up or approached the realtor about purchasing our house. One of them we thought was a solid buyer, ended up not going through with it. The other one that we didn't think was going to go through did go through. And they wanted to close on the house by June 15th, which would have been a miracle, just to get everything together when you're dealing with an HOA, which we were, and titles, companies, and lawyers, and everything else. And the stress was just like insurmountable at times. But we got everything through, and we closed somewhere, I believe it was on June the 23rd, something like that. And we left Florida and did everything remotely. We bought this house through DocuSign, and we sold the other one through DocuSign. But it all happened, all went through, and we've been working on the new house, getting things together. It's a lovely space, but it is quite small compared to what we had in Eatontown, with a full basement and a loft with three large storage closets upstairs. Whew, man! But we've been picking and choosing what we want to keep with us, and what other things that we have to let go of. And of course, the things that we're tied to, sometimes we have to emotionally break those ties or cut those ties. But we're settling in. Joanne has worked tirelessly. She is the Energizer Bunny. She will go shop, like some people shop till they drop. Joanne will work till she drops. But she has been the one that has gone through everything, kept me on track, kept me busy, um, and finding muscles that I thought I had before, but realized I hadn't used them in a long time. So, yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff to get things done. And we're almost there. We're down to the last couple of bins to go through, sort out some tools. And through it all, God's faithfulness has kept us going, has kept us actually um, alive and well, which has been really exciting, to have God there, and He's been faithful. We've had grandkids and great grandkids. I have a photograph of, I think there's 18 of us in that photograph that we took on Joanne's 75th birthday on July 6th. Um, and it was quite astounding. Mike and Jackie, Joanne's sister and husband, were with us for a week, and they were there for the party as well. Enjoyed having them with us, um, and yeah, it's been exciting, and we're settling into the subtropic area. Joanne's trying to get used to the frogs and toads that come and party on our patio every night at nightfall. We have what we call Cuban frogs, what are called Cuban frogs, that are the sticky kind that climb walls and hop from one place to the other, and getting used to them, which is fun. They're harmless. There are some frogs that I understand can harm dogs if they lick them or put them in their mouth. We haven't, we don't have that problem. Uh, as some of you know, we put our dog Cosmo down that we had for almost 15 years. Kazi was a real part of our life, but now we're living without. We got to get past the habit of thinking I've got to get home to let him out, or get somebody to let him out if we've been out too long, or feed him, or do whatever. And we really haven't settled into that. Not fully. I think partially we have. I remind myself every once in a while, oh yeah, I don't have to get home right away, or we don't have to get somebody to take care of him, which is a little interesting. But yeah, that's all good. Kaz was a great dog, good companion. All our Aussies were. Um, Rocky, Lady, even the brief time we had Bandit. Yeah, and Amber. Amber was a trip. But we got to experience some good companionship with dogs. Don't want to go off on that too much. But this is my study that I record in. I see that I've got to straighten out my camera a little bit so the background looks a little bit more formidable. Uh, but yeah, we've got my library set up. I've got a little space across our hallway, our entrance hallway, where I have another room that I do my contemplation, my meditation. That's biblical meditation, by the way. My reading, studying, get my ideas together. And where I'm sitting right now is where I will record and get back into some YouTube recordings and things that I believe that God wants me to talk about and get going here. Um, I think that's going to be a good part of what I do. So yes, we are settling into South Florida, to the subtropics, to the heat, and it's been a challenge in some ways, but we're doing okay. Uh, I enjoy the heat, um, but even with my enjoyment, there are times it is just brutal outside. Uh, and this is what we call inside weather. And it's just so brutal out there. And we look forward to some of our friends coming to visit us. We have one couple that we've known for probably 50 years coming to visit us this weekend. And it's also my great granddaughter Lily's birthday. Actually, it was the other day, but this Saturday we're going to celebrate her 1 year. And she's the youngest of our great grandkids. And yeah, it's exciting. Then we have, I think, four more in the next 2 months, month and a half, not even, where we'll have four more birthdays. One of my grandchildren, who you probably have seen with me online, Allie, is celebrating her birthday in September, and her son Owen is having a birthday the day after. And then we have three other. My son Raymond has a birthday in August. My great grandson um, has a birthday in August, and great granddaughter also has a birthday in August. So we're going to be full of birthdays this summer, and it's exciting. My future plans are, I'll start from the far out one. Far out meaning furthest out in the calendar was I will go to South Africa in the end of October for about 3 weeks, and we're planning on Joanne coming with me the whole time, and that's going to be very encouraging to have her with me that whole time, where she can get some rest and settle down and recuperate from work and moving and unpacking and doing all that stuff. And yeah, seeing some people that we know and love in South Africa. I'll be teaching there at the Bible College for 3 weeks or 2 weeks, but we just factor in the days of travel, um, adds another week on to the trip. And because we don't have Cosmo, we don't have to worry about getting somebody to look in on him. Two of my grandkids live within walking distance, so they can keep the house under their view and make sure everything is going well. And I believe we're scheduling up to a week in New Jersey sometime in September. So we'll prepare for that as well. And I'm going to start to really look at producing some videos again that I think God is saying to me that I need to do. And God willing, it will be helpful to the church as well. So I think that covers everything. Right now, we are amazed at God's faithfulness, His care for us, and how He has made us the head and not the tail in so many of the things that we've gone through. So until next time, I will try to get something out probably in a couple of weeks. But yeah, we're just settling in, finding doctors, finding places to shop, finding things we need to get. Yeah, it's a whole new experience. Yeah. So next time, God bless you.